Hey, thanks for joining me to color. Today we are going to be working on this adorable Stampin' Bella image called Petunia Gets a Piggyback. Aren't they adorable? I will put a link down in the description box to the card kit and all the supplies I used. I would love for you to come shopping with me. If you have a question, leave me a comment and I will get back to you. If you like the video, hit the like button. If you aren't a subscriber yet, go ahead and do that so that you can get an update every time I upload a new video. And you can always just leave me a comment and say hi. I would love that. So I've already stamped my image on Neenah 80-pound Solar White cardstock with Memento Tuxedo Black ink. So let's color. So let's start out by outlining our image, and I'm going to use C1, C0, and C00. And I'm going to start out with C1, and I'm going to add some shadows. So let's go ahead and add a little bit of shadows underneath of her skirt. So wherever you think it's going to be the darkest, we're going to add this dark color. I'm going to go underneath of her skirt. And over here, and then over here she's got a little bit where you can see the background through her hair and her cheek. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And let's see, I'm going to think I'll go up just a little bit more over here. Then I'm going to grab C0 and I'm going to go right over the top of that color that I just laid down and just make it a little whiter. And let's bring this color down like so, and again go over this section where I already colored it. And we're going to fill in this section here between her face. And I think I'll bring this color out here around her hair, and then maybe do some of this underneath these pom-poms. And let's grab a little bit here underneath of her ear. Okay, I'm liking that. So now I'm going to take C00 and I'm just going to go over the entire thing. So let's just start over here and I'm going to make it whiter. Just a little bit. And just soften those lines. And just work our way around to the other side. I like doing my outlining first, that way if I color on my girl and I want to erase it, I can do it before I've added other colors and chance picking that up when I'm erasing it. Go around her ear. Get a little curly Q tail and come back down and meet up with the other side. Let's work on her skin and her cheeks next. For her skin, I'm going to use E11, E00, and BV000. And for her cheeks, I'm going to use R02 and R01. So I'm going to start with my E11. I'm going to do her legs. So let's go right here underneath of her skirt, and then I'm going to draw a thin line down the inside of her leg. And then she's got some little strappy sandals on, so you want to go through that. And I'm going to put a little dab of this dark color in that little crease right there. And then for this side, we're going to go down this way. And again, through the strappy sandals and around to her foot. And I'm going to fill it in with my E00. So I'm touching down on my E11 and I'm kind of rubbing my pencil back and forth, and I'm trying not to make a big mess because her legs are pretty dinky. And I'm just kind of rubbing the pen on that line right there just to soften it, and then I'm bringing my pen out the rest of the way on her leg. And then I'm going to take my BV 000 and I'm just going to give it a little dab of a shadow underneath of her dress. Okay. Then we're going to go up here and we're going to do her arm. So again, I'm going to grab E11 and I'm going to do this little thumb here, and I'm going to be really careful because it's really dinky. And I'm going to do this first finger, and again, really careful because the her arm or her fingers are really small there. And then I gave her wrist a little dab of extra that goes up into her arm. And let's work our way, and I'm going to give a little shadow behind the pig's leg, and let's work our way over here to her arm. And then I'm going to add E00, and again, let's do these fingers. Go along this line and then fill it in all the way. I'm going to rub back over that line one more time to soften it just a little bit more. Okay. And then let's go over here and we're going to do her face. So again, I'm going to start with E11. And let's do a little bit here on her ear. And then I'm going to use this color to come down the side of her bangs here that are touching. And then we're going to come down this side. Like that. And then I'm going to take my E00 and I'm going to fill it in. Well, let's not fill it all the way in. Let's go right along her bangs. That way we'll have a little bit, after we add our cheeks, we can fill it in the middle, and it'll be just a tad bit lighter. Okay, let's see. I think I'll bring this out here past her eye. Okay, and then I'm going to do some cheeks. So I'm going to grab R02, and over here I'm just going to do just a little bit. And then over here on this side, I want to do a little bit more because I want it to come out closer to her eye. And I'm going to go with R01 to soften the edge. I think I'll give it a little bit, another dab of my R02. And then another second dab of my R01. Just to make it a little pinker. And then I'm going to take my E00 and we're going to go over her entire face. So I'm going to start out here at the corner and bring it into the middle. And fill in my white space there I had in the middle of her face. Then I'm going to take my BV 000 and I'm going to give it a little bit of a shadow. So I'm going to come down this little part here and do a little small dab there right next to her hairline. And then I want to come over on this side and add a little bit of shadow underneath of her bangs. And then I'm going to leave it like that. For her hair, let's use E47, E35, and E33. And I'm going to start with my E47. And I'm going to go just a little, I'm going to use just the tip of my pen and do a little dab right next to her cheek. Just a little shadow there. And then I'm going to bring this, she's got a little bit longer section right here. So I'm going to dab just a few little lines right in this little longer section. And then let's do her bangs. So for her bangs, I'm going to go up. And I'm going to bring this line over this way just a little bit more. And I'm going to add a little section right here in this little pointy one. And let's do a little bit here in each of these little drops. Like that. And then let's do this little section over here. Oops. Over here on this that's curling down. Let's do a little bit underneath of her ear. And let's bring this, looks like it's kind of a piece of the bangs that's swirling back towards the top. So I'm going to do a little bit up towards that way. And then don't forget she's got this headband, so you don't want to color that. And let's go down here, and this section kind of falls over the top of this cute little part that's flinging out in the back. So I'm going to do that. And underneath this headband. And then let's do a little bit where it's coming out here from behind her ear. Let's do a couple little streaky lines up that way. Like that. And then over here where it's kind of dipping down behind the headband again, I'm going to put a couple of little dabs of color right in there. And then for her headband where it's coming down out from underneath, I want to do this way. And then I want to do a little bit on each on this little section over here. And I'm trying to be very careful not to get that headband, even though we're going to color it black. This is a pretty dark color, so you're not going to cover it up. Now I'm going to go with E35, and we just want to add some more color. So let's just start here at the bottom of this cute little section and add a few little dabs and streaks of color, and we just want to work our way around to the other side. Here on this one. Don't forget your headbands right there. And next I'm going to go with E33. Just going to fill in this white down here. And then fill in a little bit of this. And I think I'll leave a little bit of white in there. I'm kind of liking that today. Oops, I think I'll get this little section right up here. And now I'm going to go back with my E47 and just add a few little dark streaks back in. I'm going to leave it just like that. For her dress top and these little pom-poms up here, we're going to use YR24, Y17, and Y15. I'm going to start with my YR24, and let's go ahead and do her top. And her top right here, right here on her, above her dress is a little bit of skin. Let me grab my E11 real quick, and we will add a little bit of color on there. I missed it. And let me grab E00 to just go over it and soften it just a little bit. She's got a little bit of her neck showing there. So now I'm going to start with my YR24, and I didn't worry about these dots because I'm going to color those black, so I just colored right over the top of those. So I'm going to take my pen, and we're going to brush this, and I'm going to come up to this pig's foot, and then go past over here. Let's do a little dab of color on this side of the cute little pig's foot. And then over here on the front of her dress, where it's touching her ruffle, I want to do a little dab of color in there. And then I'm going to grab Y17, and I want to go right over the top of that color I just laid down. And let's bring it out here into the middle. I'm going to bring this color around the other side of the cute little pig's foot. And then I'm going to fill it in with my Y15. And I think I'll go over it a second time, so I'm going to grab YR24 again. And then Y17. And then Y15 to fill it in. And then for the pom-poms up here, we'll do YR24 first. And I'm going to use the little circle here that's already in the middle of my pom-pom to just do a little half C in each one, like that. And then I'm going to take Y17 and I'm going to come up over the top of my C. So they're about halfway filled in. And then we're going to fill it in with our Y15. And again, I'm going to go over them a second time. So I'm going to go with my YR24, Y17, and then Y15 to fill it in. And then later I went over and put some Stickles Stardust on the top of these so they're all sparkly. Let's do the black areas next. For that, we're going to use T10, 8, 6, and 4. I'm going to start with my T10, and since I got her shirt color here, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do, she's got a little thin band of on the top of her shirt, the collar. So I'm going to very lightly color that in. And if you're afraid of making a big mess, maybe you have a just a regular black Copic multi-liner pen, you could use that to, if you got one of the small ones like a 0.3 or 0.03 I think it is, and you could use that to color these little circles and stuff in. That would be a little less messy if you were afraid of spilling it and making a big blob. And I'm just going to lightly touch my pen to each circle and fill those in. Like that. And then let's go up here and do our headband too. So I'm going to take my T10. I'm just going to brush a little bit on this side, and then I want to do this side just a little dab. And I think I'll come up just a little bit more over here. And I also want to do the pig's got a headband. So I'm going to go ahead and give that just a little dab and a little dab on this side. And then I'm going to go with T8. And then we'll add some to Petunia's headband. And this is T6. And then we want to fill it in with T4. Let's go down here and do our shoes next. So I'm going to grab, again, my T10 first. I'm going to do around the back, and I'm just going to very lightly use just the very tip of my pen and hardly touch the paper because I don't want to make too big of a line. And then this side, let's do a little dab on each of these little straps, and then I want to go down the top of her shoe. Like that, and down to the strap, and then I'm going to do a little bit on the bottom here. Next I'm going to go with T8. So we're going to go right over the top of that line. I'm going to add another little skinny line. Same for this side. this is T6. I'm going to go up a little bit more, and I think I'll add a little bit of this color to my strap. I ran out of room on the back of the shoes there, so I'm just going to fill that the rest of the way in. And then I'll take my T4 and fill in the rest. Same for this side. Okay, those are good for the shoes. So let's go up here and we're going to do her skirt. So I'm going to grab T10, and she's got a little bit of a band on the top of her skirt. So I'm going to go ahead and just color that in. And then I took my pen and I just went in, and each of these little bumps or ruffles, I kind of took my pen and swirled a little bit of this dark color in each of those little bump up areas. So each one that has a little swoop, I put some color in, if that makes sense. I'll just work my way around to the other side. Maybe a few little dots in here. Okay, like that. Looks kind of messy. Then I'll take my T8, and I want to just go right over the top of those bumps and just make them bigger. So let's go add a little bit more color. And I'm not being really careful. I'm just kind of squiggling my pen over the top of each of those, making them wider, connecting some together. Now I'm going to do T6. So again, I'm just going to go right over the top of those last two colors and swirl out here and make some more space, using up some more of my white space. Maybe do a little bit up here. Adding some color in between some of these big spots where there is a lot of white area. I'm going to try to use up a little bit of that. Like right here where there's a big white blob, I'm going to take up some of that space. Okay, I like that. So now I'm going to take my T4 and I'm going to fill it in. So I'm just going to go around, and I'm going to do the edge first, I think. That way I don't have to worry about coloring outside the lines. If I do it now, I can kind of be careful and then just swirl right over the top of the rest. So work my way around to the other side. That, and then, oh, I better do right here close to her shirt too, because I can see me coloring that. And then I'm just going to go like this, all the way back across to the other side. And fill it in. And then later I went in and I took my Stickle Stardust and I kind of dabbed it around on all the really dark areas so that it had a little bit of sparkle, but it didn't take up the entire skirt. Let's do the Petunia's ears and her nose next. For that, we're going to use EO2 and EO1. So I'm going to use EO2 first, and let's do her little cute nose. I'm just going to brush my pen like that. Let's do the inside of her ear. And the inside of this ear. And then I'm going to take EO1 and go over that. And then the same for her little snout. And then for her nose, I want to use EO2 again. And then EO1. Go all the way across this time. And then I'm going to take my EO2 a third time and just flick out here and leave this side. I'm not going to blend it this time, and I want to redo her ears a second time. And the inside of this one. For Petunia, let's use E87, 84, 81, and 40. I'm going to start with my E87. Let's just start here with her ears. We're going to do a little dab on each side of her ear. And on this side over here, for this second ear, we're going to do over this way. And then I'm going to go with E84. And we'll add a little bit on each of these sides. And then E81. And I'm going to bring the E81 around the center of her ear. And then I'm going to fill it in with my E40. I also want to use my E40 to go over all this dark too. I give it a little bit of this brownish tint that this color has. Okay, and we're going to go down here and let's do this leg. So again, I've grabbed E87 and I'm going to do a fine line right down this leg and over her hooves. And then for this cute little leg, let's do right along the girl's hair. And then we'll go with E84. So I'm going to bring this color up kind of towards her shoulder. There, so we can fill in some of that space. And I think I'll bring this color out just a little bit more. And then same for this hand over here, this foot. It should come up. And then we'll go with E81. And then E40. And again, I want to go over the entire green area with this one. I think I want to go back again with my E84 for my leg here. Then E81. Need to soften that just a little bit more. And then my E40. I like that better. Okay, so now let's take our E87 and let's do this back part right here. So let's go around our skirt. And then up under the girl's arm. Okay, I like that. And then let's do a little bit here, whoops, underneath the girl's or her's foot. And then right here between her face and her neck there. And then I'm going to go with E84. And I'm going to use this color to fill in underneath of her arm. And go up here in between her finger a little bit. And then let's also do up here. And we want to do a little bit away from her body here, or her neck. I'm going to go with E81 next. I'm going to get in between her fingers here. And then E40. And again, we want to go over the green. And just like her arm, I'm going to go back with my E84. E81. And then the E40. Okay, I like that. So now let's do her face. So let's go with, again, E87. And so I'm going to bring my E87 down this side of her face like that. And then let's go along her arm. And then along this hair. Up here to her foot. And then along the top of this foot. And I'm going to bring this color down a little bit so it's even with her leg. And then I'm going to go with E84. And I'm just going to add a tiny dab over here. And then for in here, I'm going to fill this in. And we're going to bring it up in between her nose there. And I'm going to kind of bring it up here to her snout where it starts to tip over towards this way. Next is E81. E40. And then I'm going to go back again with my E84. E81. And then my E40. We'll bring this side, brush it a couple of times here. Isn't she cute? Now we're going to use, as long as we got these out, we'll do the grass too. So for that, we're going to use E87, 84, and 81. And we're going to go down here and do the grass. So I'm going to start with E87, and I want to do some of these grass strands. But then I also want to do a little bit here, pulling away from her shoe. So let's do that. And then we'll go, and then some of these grass strands. And, oh, we gotta do some grass strands right here. And then we'll come back away from this shoe. And then I'm going to go with E84. So let's do some more grass strands. And we want to bring this color that, and then we'll finish it off with our E81. Let's go ahead and do some strands of this. And then we want to flick some of this along the bottom too. And then I'm going to go back with my E87 and just darken up a little bit of this patches down here. So there is our pretty beautiful Petunia Gets a Piggyback. Didn't she turn out cute? And then again, here is the finished card. So on my card, I have added some Spica glitter pin to her hair in clear. And then I did some Stickle Stardust on these pom-poms, on the dots of her dress, and down here again on her skirt. And I just kind of dabbed the black in the very darkest areas with my stickles on there. And then I did, in your kit, you get a package of these little enamel dots, and there's more than enough in there for you to use however many you want on each of your card and still have some left over. And then this little fence right here is both the same. It has these little birds right here on it. So on this fence, I cut one of the birds off and stuck it over here in the corner because it's underneath the card, the house and the little bird. So I hope you had fun coloring with me today. If you have a question, leave me a comment and I'll get back to you. Otherwise, we will see you next time. Have a great day. Bye.